15 years ago, I packed my bags. I left the corporate world. Myself and my brother, we'd bought a manufacturing business that designed and made instrumentation solutions. It had 2 manufacturing sites, it had 108 people, and it was 150 years old. And I felt pretty good. You know, my dreams were coming true. I was going to be a business owner. Day 1, reality struck. It was horrific inside and outside of the business. And I did my best over the following 5 years to make it even worse. We bought other companies and tried to integrate them into the factories. We went onto a new ERP system, which was disastrous. We let our customers down. We let our people down. And then around end of 2015, I stumbled on 2-second lean, and things started to get a bit better for us. We started to go from dark, dingy factories to a little bit better. We started to go from weekly resignations, I kid you not, to people actually smiling, to people feeling appreciated for coming to work every day. And we were making improvements. We were making our customers happier. We had WhatsApp groups sharing all our videos. But we started flatlining. We had created a culture of continuous improvement, but it lacked depth. The same complex problems kept coming back, kept haunting us. Fix what bugs you wasn't enough for us. And then around 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago, I was sat at an industry awards dinner next to a lovely gentleman called Phil Catherwood, who worked at the Welsh government. And he was telling me about this brand new program he'd set up with Toyota. And they were going to go and help Welsh businesses with the Toyota way. And if I'm perfectly honest, I wasn't convinced at all. I thought, I don't need any nonsense consultants. Respect given to Toyota in a minute, but it wasn't our way. We didn't want PowerPoints. But Phil convinced me, and we sent our first 3 people on the Toyota program 4 years ago to the day. And something magical started happening in Rototherm. Those 3 people, 2 of who are here today, they changed because of the experience that they had. Their behaviors, their attitudes started changing. They were inspiring people. They were talking differently within our business. Other people were wanting to know what they knew. So we went all in. I decided to think, how far can I push Welsh government of sending as many people as I can from Rototherm? And this awesome guy, Kenny Barlow, who we're going to put a statue of him outside our facility, he was almost every week in our place mentoring us. And then we started meeting others around the Toyota system, other mentors who were just willing to give us advice. They would never, ever, ever tell us what to do. They'd only ever ask questions. In the 4 years we've been with Toyota, they've never told us once what to do. They just ask questions, and it's really annoying. Really, really annoying. So 4 years, 70% of our people have been through this mentoring program, and it has been utterly transformational for us. We're hosting lean events at our site together with Toyota. Our customers are hosting operational excellence events at our site. We've got the top government people hosting events at our site. 3 months ago, we were named as the Lean Exemplar for the submarine program. Whole of the UK submarine program, little us. We had the top 25 business leaders from the whole program who are running multi-million, billion-dollar businesses at our site learning about Lean. All thanks to what Toyota taught us. So, I'm going to summarize our 4 biggest takeaways, the 4 biggest things we learned in 4 years that created depth in our journey. Number 1, clarity of leadership's roles. What is the responsibility? What are the expectations of leaders? And this requires real thought. And it led to some pretty difficult decisions for us. You've got to remember, we had spent 5 years getting ourselves to a happy place. We didn't have hardly any labor turnover at all, but we were not holding our leaders to the same standard. We, or I, was letting our team members down because I wasn't holding our leadership to the same standards. And it led to some pretty difficult decisions and discussions at that time. Mr. Amai summarizes it brilliantly in this video from Edwin Proper.
There are 3 most important requirements if you want to be successful in embracing Kaizen and Lean. The first, of course, is a top management commitment. Because top management has all the necessary resources. And if you want to inaugurate this company-wide Lean strategy, of course, top management is the only person who can make it. So that's the first requirement, top management commitment. And second most important requirement is top management commitment. And the third most important requirement is, as you know, top management commitment. In the majority of companies I have visited, they have missed these 3 most important requirements.
Next, clarity of team members' roles. So you've got your leadership. What is your team members' roles? What are their expectations you have for your team members? What are the responsibilities of each of your team members? Write it down, absolutely specific. Peter Drucker, the infamous Peter Drucker, said there's 5 basic needs of every job holder. Number one on that list is agree what is expected of me. Secondly, facts and data. Water is wet, rocks are hard. You can't argue it. Water's wet, rocks are hard. We were so opinion-based in our decisions at Rototherm, and we transformed ourselves into being fact-based. But to get facts was hard for us. We didn't have the information readily available. So we had to invest a lot of time and a lot of effort to get that information and turn it into useful information. And everywhere around our facility now, you can find the facts that you need to be able to do your job. Deming says it best. Without data, you're just another person with an opinion. And we really started to see problems as our treasures. When you actually have facts and data, when you solve it with the tools that we learn from Toyota, the problems don't come back again. You actually start to love problems coming through because you see it as such a great opportunity to learn. And we took Toyota's Andon system when we visited both their sites, in Derby and up in Deeside, and we started to build our own Andon system because it was the best way that we could get problems all around our entire business. And here's, if it works, here's a video from Matt describing our Andon system.
At British Rototherm, our problems are our treasures. So we've implemented an Andon system. Every single workstation has a green light above them and a button. The team member can press that button anytime they've got a problem or obstacle, and their light will turn red. At the same time, the team leader will get a message on Microsoft Teams, and they will respond immediately to that Andon press. The team leader will then do 4 things. Number 1, they'll thank the team member for pulling the Andon. Number 2, they'll make the area safe. Number 3, they'll either take the problem off the team member so the team member can carry on with other standard work, or they'll solve the problem there and then. And finally, number 4, they will log the problem in our Andon system. So we've got data from 2 years of all of our biggest problems in the factory so we can problem solve effectively. Once the team leader has logged the Andon, all of the data gets pulled into our app. All of this data gets visualized and we can see at a glance where our biggest issues are in the business. This is a super powerful problem solving tool, and we run practical problem solvings, which we learned from Toyota, on all of our biggest issues every single week to make our processes better for our team members and our customers. We're constantly improving this app to make it easier and easier to log the problems every single time. So it's a very quick and easy system, and this is getting more and more intuitive every time we update it. The goal is to have every single problem in the business logged right here, whether you're missing a pen on a workstation or a critical component for an assembly line, so that we have perfect facts and data to run our problem solving activity. And finally, we've made this available now as a standalone app so that all of our customers, suppliers, and Lean network can benefit from this and make their processes world class.
How cool we get our problems every day. I was super happy when Zen told me in the last year we had 4,000 Andon pulls. I was like, wowzers, 4,000 Andon pulls. We must be doing pretty good. And then, typical Toyota style, brought me down to earth. I asked Simon, I said, Simon, come on then. How many Andon pulls are there in Derby? And he said 12,000. I was like, we're not far off. A week. A week. At their level, 12,000 Andon pulls a week at the level they operate at. Man, we're so far off. But we're getting there. Number 3, coach and challenge. No challenge is wasted potential. No coach, no progress. Toyota say to us, if you don't give your team members a full day's work, you're disrespecting them. If you're giving them 6 hours of work and you've got 2 hours, you're absolutely disrespecting them. Give them a full day's work and coach them to help them. You're better than that. Challenge your people. Coach and challenge to achieve the incredible. You know, when I watch that video, I think of Ryan, and I think that's what it must feel like in Spirit Metal right now. You know, they've got Ryan challenging them to achieve the incredible. What are you doing by challenging your colleagues or your team members? Think about it. Number three, as we said, the biggest gains are locked up in your people. It's all about the people. Coach and challenge them. Fourth, final one, structure. I swear me and Alan didn't plan this, but structure's on here. My favorite quote of the year. If you got a pen, write this down. The day doesn't get to happen to you. Make the structure happen to the day. I'll say it again. The day doesn't get to happen to you. Make the structure happen to the day. Out on the offensive, not on the defensive. Don't let the day hammer you for everything it's got. Make the structure. Years ago, I had this standard work for supervision, which was from a guy who worked at Toyota in Japan. I didn't really appreciate it at the time. But this was just standardized work for one of their supervisors. And the level of detail they go through on an hourly basis and the tools that they have on each hour is unbelievable. Every year I look at this and I still just cannot fathom the level of structure that's built in to this standardized work. We're putting more and more structure around our business, taking it step by step. But you just realize the more onion you peel out, the more appreciation, the more respect to the level of system that they have in Toyota. And these four things over the last 4 years have taken us from this to this, building that depth in our lean journey. Clarity of roles, facts and data, coach and challenge, and structure of the day. But there was one more benefit which we didn't realize, which we did not see at the time. Now, in our vivid vision at Rototherm, on the peaceful manufacturing, we foresee an alien dreadnought factory. That's our vision. We love the sci-fi stuff. So we think, when we produce and manufacture our products, we want an alien dreadnought factory. And if you're in the AI breakout session tomorrow, Zen and Stu will go in a lot more detail on this. But what we saw was that the depth of our lean absolutely accelerated our journey on AI and automation. Why? Because it requires a continuous improvement mindset. It requires quality data. It requires challenging our ways of thinking and working, and it requires a significant amount of structure. And a couple of examples around this. Over the last 12 months, we've put in 2 AI employees into our org chart. They've got names and they're on our org chart because we're clarifying the roles of these people. Bring that clarity in. They get things wrong. They need training. They need coaching. They need development. We've launched a phenomenal product that measures the level of your fuel in fuel tanks to 0.02% accuracy, and it's a sensor that attaches at the bottom, not inside. But we challenged the design team to make it that it could be manufactured with no human touch. So we challenged their thinking. That's not possible. We've made it happen. So success requires the same. Clarity of roles, facts and data, coach and challenge, structure the day, and make yourself future ready. Masayoshi-san, one of the most successful tech investors in the world talks about the future. This is one of the most powerful videos I've seen this year.
What is the difference between AGI and ASI? To those of us born of a different generation.
Okay.
What's the difference?
Yeah, AGI definition is same level as a human brain. That's AGI, artificial general intelligence. But people have a different point of view definition of artificial super intelligence. How super? 10 times super or 100 times super? My definition of ASI is 10,000 times super, smarter than human brain. That's my definition of ASI, and that's coming in 2035. 10 years from today. 10,000 times smarter. That's my prediction.
10,000 times super. Think about that. Depth in our lean journey has absolutely made us better prepared for the future. And my question to you all is how many times more super you can be if you build depth into your lean journey. Thank you very much.